Guys, so I learned something today, and I actually I just saw something and I thought of sharing these with you guys. So one of the thoughts which you really need to ask yourself is, suppose let me take the example of manifesting an SP, right? Because basically the main focus of my channel is this. I do other manifesting stuffs as well, like money, job, etc. But the reason I started this channel was basically because I wanted to manifest my SP and have a lifelong marriage with him. So let me just ask you something. Uh, why this would be helpful is because every person needs clarity. Every person needs to know more about himself and his needs or her needs or whatever it is. So let me just ask you, like, what is marriage for you? First thing, what does your SP mean for you, and what does manifesting a marriage with your SP mean for you? So for me, I'm answering for myself. You can answer for yourself. So for me, when I talk about my SP in general, he's my best friend. He's my like, I'm not saying this because I called him best friend once upon a time. No, it's not because of that. It's that, see, what I believe is everything is soul to soul. So the understanding, the anything, the way you understand each other, the way you see each other, the way you uh, understand each other beyond words and without words also at times. So those mean a lot to me. And for me, I think my SP has always understood me. He was always empathetic to me, and he always thought things more than what I even expected from him. And I'm talking about all the good times, and about the him I know. I'm not talking about old story or bad things. So that is the reason I value this person so much, because I not just value him, I respect him as a person, because it's those values in him which he has always reflected with me interpersonally, one on one. And so that's the thing. I think the way he sees me, I don't think anybody else has seen me the way he has seen me, in ways I felt unseen before him. So that's the reason. That's the reason I feel so much for this person. And feelings are few things which comes naturally. It is never about so if you see, like, many people out there, they go into blind dates, or for example, even like traditionally, if you see, there are many people who are okay with non-love marriages, and what they see is just the status, the money, but the bank balance of the guy or the girl, and they go ahead with that. And not just bank balance, it's not always about the bank balance. They will check their family also, if they are good or not. But for me, it doesn't matter, because for me, my SP matters a lot. And I didn't start loving him because he's rich. I didn't start loving him because he's good looking. Yes, looks matter up to a certain extent, but it's not everything. I don't think, like, frankly speaking, nobody would want to, nobody would want to date a person who is not attracted to their face or anything else. Like, I'm not talking about objectifying someone, but to be very honestly speaking, like, uh, obviously you need to be attracted to them in some or the other way, physically as well. So but for me, it is not everything. It's not like my husband has to be someone who is like the beauty contest talent, or maybe a model or something. No, no. Values matter to me more than anything. Of course, I like his face also, but so that's the reason. Okay. And if you talk about what is marriage to me means lifelong commitment, lifelong love, lifelong loyalty. And I do believe love and loyalty comes side by side. It's not that you love a person and your loyalty is with someone else. Like, I just saw some random Justin Bieber post where he's lecturing about love is unconditional but loyalty is conditional, and he's basically justifying this point that it is your decision whether you want to be loyal to the person you love or not. It doesn't like loyalty is not an obligation. Love is like something he said like that. But no, for me, I feel like if you love someone, you would never try to find perfection in someone else. Or so that's the thing. Loyalty is very important to me. Just like I like being loyal to my person, I would also want my person to be loyal. And he has always been loyal, and that's the thing I feel I appreciate. So if I was not comfortable with someone, he immediately moved from that place. If I was not comfortable with a woman touching him or a woman trying to get close to him, things like that. So I have seen the real him and I understand the real him, and that's what I appreciate about him. So and if you're asking me a question about like what do you feel, what do you see, how do you see yourself when you're married to your person, I would say that I feel the most content, the most peaceful, because with him I don't need words to communicate. Like, the level of understanding is a lot. Okay, the only thing which I always felt like we needed improvement as a couple was how to understand each other when we have a dispute, because disputes are a part of every relationship. And up to a certain extent I will blame myself for not being able to handle dispute properly, because he used to be calm but I used to keep on justifying, and this was my problem, that I used to keep on justifying people even when they didn't ask for any justification, until I learned in a very hard way that you need to stop justifying people. Just let people do whatever they want to. People eventually understand that they actually don't need any justification. Yes, like for example, there are many things in him and for him and me relationship, and like where I'm talking about just him and me, I do share certain things to him which I feel like if I don't share these things with him and I keep it hidden, at some point of time he will know the truth and he might be hurt by it. So I say those things face to face, even if he might not like it at this point of time, but something if he needs to know, I will let him know about it. So I feel like honesty is a very important thing in relationship. And when you ask me about what I feel like, what is marriage to me with my SP, it is a lifelong best friend partnership with romance in it, and with kids in it. Obviously I want kids with him. And we travel abroad, we find time for each other. We are a romantic couple as well as a spicy couple, and we include our families also, as and when we go outside. Like it depends upon like some trips I want to have only with him, and some trips I want to have with our families. So that's a mutual decision. We can decide later on also, but just saying. So that's the way. And if I see that what kind of daughter-in-law I would be, I would like to help my mother-in-law in everything she does as much as I can. And I want to take care of his family, and I want to take care of my family as well. But most probably I want to pamper him as a child, even when he's my husband. And I also want to be pampered by him as a wife, and as a child, both of him. Like, I want that innocence in our relationship. I want that kind of vulnerability, or being able to come to each other when we have a bad day, or we like that's why I always focus on that there should be friendship between both of you. Because if you're not friends with that person, then how can you solve these different things? And just don't be friends just for the sake of the relationship. Be friends because you started as friendship. Like, I always tell my people, like everyone actually, that a romantic relationship, when it starts with a friendship, it's the most beautiful thing ever, because you know the level, your best friend understands you more than anyone else in this world, and that's very important to do. Like there were times also when he has not understood me the way I wanted him to understand me, but I think like eventually he learned to understand me when I kept on repeating the same thing again and again. So the main thing why I feel like he couldn't understand me at that point of time when I wanted him to understand me was, he comes from a family who was healthily blessed with a mother and a father both. But I came from a family, I grew up with a single mother, and I never had my father. I was blessed with other family members of my family, but not my father, which is the reason why I had certain patterns which needed more understanding from my SP's point of view than me. In those things, he did call me names like being sticky and things like that, which was actually which was actually he should have understood that was my upbringing and that was my love for him, and not something which I did to hamper his personal space. But something which I learned from that comment was that maybe you should not do too much for someone, or something like you should have a hard stop wherein you should know where to stop. And he used to tell me I didn't know where to stop. So I think I didn't know where to stop was for a conversation which can lead to an argument. That's what he meant that for. But even I feel like sometimes a person needs a personal space, and if you are too much being sticky with that person, sticky because he used this word sticky, and it did hurt me, but I understood the point of view he was coming from. So you should know where to. Not for the affectionate part. Obviously, you will be like that with them. But when I talk about, you should know, like, if something is hot, you should not touch that hot thing. Like if a utensil is hot, would you go and touch it? No. And if you keep on touching it, it's called being sticky. So that's what he meant, I guess. In that situation, I'm using this as a metaphor because, like, in certain situations, people need personal space, and if you are disturbing their personal space, they might get very irritated. So yeah, that's about it. So I think so when you are in some sort of clarity or something you want, you should always ask this question: what does this word mean for you? So sometimes you guys might be triggered by something like a few days back I was seeing a series. A woman got triggered by the name of a truck, and you would be like, as a general person, you would be like, who gets triggered by the name of a truck? But turns out when someone asked her, why are you triggered by the name of a truck? She said that that truck led my husband to do rash things in his life, and that led to some sort of big argument which had almost led to a divorce. And now, we are together. Now he is riding the truck again, and I feel like, what if he leaves me again? So they go for, and they start talking each other, they start sharing their point of view, and then her husband says that I will never leave you or be the person I used to be. Even when I bought this truck for my personal, he liked riding trucks or something like that. Basically, he wants to be a automobile engineer or something like that, and he wants to manufacture trucks. That's what his dream was. But he made it clear to his wife that even if it had happened before that he rode a truck and he almost damaged the relationship, but he would never do it again. One more thing which I want you guys to understand, I know I use this word right now, damage, but you should never be using these words with your partner. Damage or something which is very negative, you should never be using that word. Use certain good words which doesn't spiral back to some negativity in both of your minds. Not just this, if your relationship is affected, always come to know that it always takes two people to impact something, be it good and bad. So if you're blaming your partner, you should also ask yourself, what pattern are you keeping alive in your subconscious mind that this keeps alive. So sometimes I get very frustrated with the situation I'm in, and I do rant to my partner about it, but I also ask myself that what am I keeping alive inside of me that this pattern keeps repeating. So you should also ask the same thing. That's very much necessary. You cannot blame your partner for each and everything. You should ask yourself, you are accountable for everything which is happening to you, whether it is through your partner, whether it is through anything. So that's the accountability we are asking you to take. We do not we so if you know about Abraham Hicks, even she says the same thing. Everything which happens to you is because you thought about it, you had bad concepts about it, you had wrong beliefs about it, and that is why it is happening to you. So you are accountable for each and everything. That is what we teach you. We will never leave you irresponsible for something happening to you. So I want you guys to understand all these things so that you can improve, because clarity gives a lot of information to break patterns and have a better life. So that's about it. Thank you.